Tête-bêche, noun. A book split into two parts printed back to back and head to foot. Etymology, French, literally head to foot. I have recently brought a tête-bêche. It is a beguiling thing. Two stories are printed in mutual inversion. One reads the first, then turns the book over and reads the other. These tales are intertwined and parasitic, beguiling, and I think a little strange too. Letter from Count Horace Finley, 20th of March, 1819. Tête-bêche. A book split into two parts printed back to back and head to foot. Etymology, French. Literary, head to foot. In the 18th century, publishers resorted to publishing two books back to back and turned upside down. They call these unique works tête-bêche novels. They are strange to read nowadays, and the modern bibliophile can find it disconcerting to read one tale and then flip the book over to read another from the opposite direction, only to discover everything they thought they knew was an inversion of the truth. G. Brunswick, A New History of the Novel, Princeton University Press, 1922. And this is where the Turnglass truly begins. Let's turn it over. I'm Zan, konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? And welcome to another Spiraken book club. In this episode, we're talking about a book which is truly unique, truly different, and more importantly, one which I thought was a little bit of a gimmick, but it's one which is truly inventive and more importantly, unforgettable. And what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the Turnglass by Gareth Rubin. And this is two stories at once. One happening in 1893 and the second happening in 1933. And it is a very unique story because of what is going on in this. It is a murder mystery. It is a missing child story. And more importantly, it is a conundrum about what is real and what is not. Now, let's get to it because this is, like I said, a book which was by Gareth Rubin and was written all the way back in 2023. There is multiple versions of this. The version that I received is the Union Square version, so it is black and white. The original version was green and red. I kind of like the color version better, but this is the version I got a hold of. And you can see that the two versions show the hourglass with the Victorian house, the Turnglass house from 1893 in Essex, England. And then we have the Turnglass house from all the way in California, 1932, which is in the height of, well, in between World War II and World War One. And let's get to it because this is two mirroring stories. Our first one takes place all the way back in 1889 when a young doctor named Dr. Simon Lee, who's studying the effects of influenza and some other diseases, is trying to create a cure, doesn't have the money, and he gets a message saying that your uncle, a parson, needs a doctor immediately. What's going on? It's a mystery why he's getting sick, but he needs a doctor. You'll be paid for it, and he's going to use this money to invest in his research to cure several diseases. So he ends up going to the middle of Essex by Mercia, and he comes across this large home, old home with a weather vane that is an hourglass. And he meets his uncle, Parson. The parson is a priest, and he's getting ill. And also in the house there is his former sister-in-law, Florence, who apparently murdered his brother, his other uncle. What happened? What occurred? Well, you have to read to find out, but there is a book involved that is very unique in a painting of something which shouldn't be there. On the other end, in 1930, Hollywood, we have a young upcoming actor named Ken Kurian who is trying to get parts, trying to get life, dating a girl who's really an airhead, and he ends up being invited to a party for Mr. Oliver Took. And Oliver Took is an upcoming writer and someone who is related to the governor of California. And there is a mystery involved when Oliver suddenly dies. What happened? What occurred? Well, it is up to Ken and Oliver's sister to discover what occurred in becoming engaged in this huge event that, well, suffice to say, it's going to be one of those ones where you can't really answer what happened without spoiling too much. Now, the cool thing is this book is a tête brûlée. And as I said earlier in the opening, it's two books in one. One book is written like this, one is written like this. And what you do is you read each book, and they're two different stories, and they meet in the middle somehow. And that is a unique part of this story. That is the part which is well done, more verbose, more, well, fun. And there's several different ways you can read it. Option A, you read 3 chapters, and read 3 chapters, you read all the way through one side, read all the way through the other side. Like you could start with the 1890s version, you could go to the 1930s, you could start with the 1930s, go to the 1890s, or you can do what I did, which is read it in tandem. Translation, read chapter 1, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 2, kept going back and forth. Actually, was a smarter way to figure out where I was and keep control without using a bookmark. And it led me into a very engaging, intriguing, and more importantly, inventive story. It's something that you can't do with Kindles. You can't do this with an ebook. You can't flip the book around. It doesn't work. It's just you switch pages left and right. It doesn't work. This literally gives you the emotion of it. And more importantly, it makes you want to read what's going on. It makes you want to see where it all goes. Especially because things happen in both stories which parallel the other. Maybe there's a book written in the 1930s that emulates what's happening in the 1890s. How are they connected? What's going on? What is the mystery? Well, I'm not going to spoil it because it would reveal what is occurring, what happens. This is a story you need to experience for yourself. And overall, the design of the book, exceptional. The story, well done, with the caveat that out of the two endings, one of them is more gratifying than the other. I'm not going to say which one it is, so I'm not going to spoil it. But the thing is, the ride is what's important. The journey. Yes, this doesn't stick the landing, but the overall story is very inventive and engaging. And we get into all these moments which are well done. It emphasizes Essex and Mercia and the mystery behind Turnglass House in England. And we get the feelings of the locals and their feelings on the parson and the mystery of the murder. Meanwhile, in 1930s, we have this murder going on, but more we have a lot of activism happening. We have a lot of racial tension happening. We have the whole Hollywood era situation. It's kind of Great Gatsby-esque. And both these worlds are fully visualized. And there's a lot of elements that make you want to dive deeper into this. This would be an engaging film if they did it right, or TV series. I don't know how they would do it. They could do it. It would be very cool. So what else can I say about this? Well, I don't want to spoil anything. That's why I'm not giving any quotes, because this book is not one you can quote without spoiling a large amount of it. So let's get to my rating. And what do I thought about this? Did I love it? Did I hate it? Well, honestly, I gave this Borrow from a Friend and Don't Return Unless Offered Pocky our second highest rating. I read it forward, then flipped it over and read it back. 2 stories, one mirrored, one underwhelming twist, but the journey, absolutely worth a flip. This is one of those stories that is worth a flip, worth the read, worth the engagement. This is why if someone says, "Why do I want to read a book to an ebook?" This is the reason why. Because of books like this, where you have this unique gimmick, it's what makes it more compelling, more interesting. Yes, it has that new book smell, but it's that concept which is really cool. Now, if you've read this and you like this or didn't like it, let me know your thoughts. Email me, zanspiraken.com. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this, you didn't enjoy this, or your overarching thoughts on The Turnglass by Gareth Rubin. Have you read any of his other work? What are your thoughts? What do you think? Now, before we go any further, I like to thank each and every one of you for checking out this series. Every email I get, every new comment, every new subscriber gives me more motivation to keep doing this. And I love doing this. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And more importantly, we're going to see what happens with this, our Project 45 by 45. Because our next book I'm really excited about, and that is going to be Snow Crash by Neal Stephenson. I'm really excited to talk about that book. Because, I mean, we're almost halfway through this series. Officially, that will be the midpoint. We'll be halfway through, almost 45. It's going to be number 22. Very excited. Well, actually, no, 23, actually. This is 22. That's 23. Sorry, I'm getting a little forgetful because I am an old man. But again, I digress. So let me know your thoughts. Anyway, if you enjoy this, remember to like, share, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, and click on that bell for notification. for these new episodes and subscribe to us, and we'll see some of the new episodes. Anyway, as usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time. And as always, keep reading books. I will see you later.